Health is life. Your health matters. You matter. Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time to love you. Live well. Be well.
Let's go!
Health matters to me.
Come on, get up, cause you tuned into the station for your morning motivation to get your education for your health and your spiritual needs.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, strong will to empower the people, to promote the peace, though. Positive attitudes, behavior, that's a lifelong dream goal.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, health matters and we're here to help you become the better you, to be the best you, the best version you can be.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, and it's time for this classic, fantastic food for your soul. Here's Jackie and Coach Patrick right here. Let's go.
Health matters to me.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jackie.
And Coach Patrick.
Welcome to Help Matters podcast, where your help matters.
Every day, all day. Listen, we want you to join us right here every Saturday as we come to you at 9 a.m. to bring you relevant information pertaining to your health and well-being. We'll have healthcare professionals and other professionals on the show to assist us in helping you to be the best you that you could be as it pertains to your health and well-being.
So, guys, you already know what to do. Head over to Facebook and like our Facebook page, Get Fit with Jackie Fitness, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Help Matters Jackie and Coach.
Yep. Do that right now. Listen, Jackie, this is another beautiful day the Lord has made.
And we're going to choose to rejoice and be glad in it, Coach.
That's right. And we want to wish everyone that's celebrating a birthday or anniversary in this great month of August, happy birthday, happy anniversary. Enjoy yourself, celebrate yourself, and continue to grow in marriage and continue to grow in life.
Right. Guys, can you believe we almost
in September? Yeah.
Man, this time doesn't wait for anyone.
Don't wait for no one.
Kids are back in school. We headed to fall. And we didn't have some great weather this week. I mean, some nice cool. I even got outside and connected with nature. Nice and breezy. Yes. So it's been really, really good, guys. So, guys, we been talking about some things this month, but first we're gonna clean house and talk about our sponsors.
All right, so we're going to acknowledge our sponsors, our partners, and our friends. Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan. When your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street, Northwest in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191, and their website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. To be a sponsor, a partner, or a friend of this broadcast, you can call 706-592-8862. We would love for you to help us do what we do every Saturday.
All right, guys, this month we have been talking about healthy and smooth transition back to school, Coach.
Yeah.
And we didn't have some great conversation.
Good stuff. Yeah.
We've been talking about bullying. We had some great reviews on bullying, and we also talked about backpack safety with Dr. Dan last week. And a lot of people just don't know. They just buy their kids' book bag and they just, give them. But you really, really have to make sure you have the right size backpack and they're wearing them appropriately, because that can affect their spines, because they're really still developing. So that can affect their spine, their back, their shoulders. That can affect things that can, and not going notice or doing something about it can cause what you call that thing, the
cirrhosis, or
I can't, you know what it is?
The crooked spine. Let's just call it
the S spine. In the spine.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're gonna no other way to go out with a bang, guys, and about the hefty transition back to school. We having a lot of changes, and we have a lot of teachers that has transitioned out of the regular traditional schools, and now they're starting their own school.
Which is a good thing. Yeah.
It's a great thing. So we have Miss Delecia Hudson with us this morning, owner and operator of the Chill Center LLC.
Hello.
That's right. Yes. So She is a homeschool for her homeschool program. She has a BA in early childhood education. She served 12 years in the classroom as an educator in the RC, the Richmond County School System. And she's a wife, a mother of three, and our favorite, wonderful daughter.
She's our favorite.
Yes, she's the only daughter. Well, we have our
okay,
daughter
that's
in
right.
love.
That's right. That's right.
Because so welcome Miss Delecia Hudson to Help Matters, and you know we're so glad to have you. Very excited for you to be here to talk about your new homeschooling, and just let our audience know and let the people know why you're so passionate and why this is so important for you. So welcome to Help Matters.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the invite. As you said, I'm a former 12-year educator from the classroom, and I've always had this dream of being a teacher since I was like 5 or 6 years old. And let y'all tell it, my parents, I'll always line up my dolls and stuffed animals or use my older brother as my students teach him. But, even at that young age, I didn't know that was my purpose. I just knew that was something I gravitated towards. And having educators in my family, with my grandmother being one of my main inspirations to go to school for education, it just pulled on me. And once I got more into the studying of early childhood education and elementary education, that's where I fell in love with the foundational skills, where a lot of people think it only starts when they get in school, or there's nothing you can do at home until they get to school, is all on the teacher. But just showing that these kids at 3, 4, and 5, 6 years old are capable of learning these foundational skills and even more. And it's not just about play, like babysitting or playing with toys. They want to say kids in pre-K kindergarten learn by play. And I just think meaning more hands-on approaches.
All right. So, Miss Hudson, after 12 years of public school system, what made you decide to leave the classroom setting?
As I said, since a little girl, I always wanted to be a teacher. And as I began to grow, I said, well, I always want my own homeschooling agency. When I was learning about the science of teaching and how the curriculums can be, I always saw that kids are individuals and they have individual learning paths and different ways that they're learning. The next child is not same as the last child. And you have to be innovative with your approaches, and not just as a whole and standard. This is what is standard. This is what a kid should know by this certain level, because they all learn at different levels and in different ways. So I wanted to branch out, and it was a God move. Absolutely. I wanted to branch out and to be able to make my impact beyond the classroom, but diving deeper into looking at the individual student, being able to have the opportunity to look at individual students. And I feel like that can be done more in smaller settings, where in the public school system, you have larger groups of students. And yes, you have the small group time, but how much time can you really cater to those kids with the time you're given?
That's good. That's good. I think you kind of already led into it about the non-traditional education is what you're explaining. And as you said, it's child-centered, a smaller setting, individualized attention, and being able to focus on the child needs. And I think those are some great elements of non-traditional education. Anything else about non-traditional education that you can share with the listening audience?
Yes, I would say when people ask like what is non-traditional education, is not the traditional. It's not just going to public school. It's private schools, it's charter schools, it's homeschool, it's virtual school. So it's are going to two different type of school. You have, parents of celebrities where they're getting tutoring. That's non-traditional. So it's just not the usual path that a student and their parent would take in gaining an education. So non-traditional is not just focused on homeschooling, where there's a teacher that's homeschooling a group of kids or parents homeschooling themselves, but it's a variety of non-traditional. It's just not going to the free public school system.
That's
All
good.
right. And so, Delecia, your dad and I was talking this week, and we said we don't know whether we had told you or not. Well, of course, your grandmother, your dad's mother, was a educator. She graduated as top of her class at Spelman, did very well, very smart lady. But I don't know if we ever told you, your grandmother was the same way. She didn't stay in the traditional school setting. She started her own homeschool program. Now, I don't know if they called it that back then. She worked with special need kids. So she did the same thing. So we didn't know whether we told you that or not. So she had
Did not
students.
know that. I just
Yes,
knew her to be an educator, and the class was like the school was like behind her house, I
no,
believe,
she
or around
literally did
the
it
corner
at the
somewhere.
house. She
Yeah.
did it at the house. And we said, I don't know if we ever told Delecia that her grandmother never stayed in. She stayed in there a while and she came out and she had the same passion to help kids, but they was more special need children. And
Yeah.
she helped them. She helped them learn how to talk and speak and everything. And some of them are still living today around our age. So we didn't know if we ever told you that. So we hope that helped you and it's like so you kind of following the pattern of your grandmother.
Uh, uh,
Yes.
so before we really kind of dig it a little deeper, let's let's just hear your why. You kind of said it a little bit, but behind what you're doing, there's a great passion behind what you do. A lot of people that do things in the industry of what you're doing. Some people, unfortunately, just do it to have a job, but there's a passion behind what you do, and I think that played a major role into you deciding to leave the classroom and go to into non-traditional education. So, kind of tell us your why a little bit.
Yeah, I've always thought, kids were capable no matter what the age is. Yes, you wouldn't want to try to teach trigonometry to a 3-year old, but that doesn't mean it's not possible in at their age level. But I always saw kids as capable, and I love having those aha moments and just making an impact on kids. I always said while I was in the education system, I said whether I got teacher of the year or if I can take a kid from knowing 2 letters just to knowing 5 letters, I've done something to impact that child that they can remember, because what they once did not know, I was able to impact them and creatively teach them in a way that left an impression on them. I had a student one year where we did the a mock election. I think it was the 2020 election year. And one thing that the parent wrote in the card at the end of the year for teacher appreciation, she allowed her son to write in the card. And he said, one thing I will remember and really liked about Miss Hudson's class is the election, us pretending to vote and cast our ballots. So my creative approach to teaching things was my way of making an impact on kids. And for them years later, or after they leave me, they can talk about what Miss Hudson taught them, what they once did not know and now understand what it is. So that way, when they get to third, fourth, fifth grade, talking about the levels of government and presidential and elections, they were like, oh, I remember in Miss Hudson class, she taught us how to vote. So it's just making those connections and bridging that gap.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's the first impression and the impact you make on children life. They will remember that.
That's what matters.
They will
Yeah.
remember more how you made them feel than versus what. So it's very important because your words and what you do can make or break a child.
That's right. I
And so
mean,
Absolutely.
we have to be very careful. And at that age that you have kids, they are like sponges, so they're
Mhm.
absorbing everything. So we have to be careful what we're putting into them when they're that young. And so it's very important that we as teachers, as credible authorities, even parents, and we talked about with Dr. Dan last week, Miss Hudson. We talked about the three partnership, and you hear me talk about this all the time, even when you guys was young in school. It's a three-way partnership: the parents, the teacher, and the student. you
Absolutely.
you you got to work together. You don't wait till they get to school to implement something, those things start at home. They start early in life, and we as parents have to put that time. But we in today's world, we have so much going on, so many distractions. We got kids can use cell phones better than we can. So, and a lot of kids may need that one-on-one. Everybody just don't do well in a big setting classroom.
Because
So you
kids,
have any
even at that age, they get anxiety. I had a student about 3 years ago. She knew her letters. She knew her letter sound. She knew how to write. She knew her stuff. But when it came down to doing the work, it was just like she just had this anxiety of doing her work. And I always had to pull her to the side to get her to focus on her words. Like she will cry and everything. But me pulling her to the side, even while the kids were working, it eased her anxiety. So that just goes to show how you can kind of give that student that individual time, and they're able to perform better because they're pressured by what they see their classmates doing. One classmate can work faster than most because they know it and they got it. And it's not that she didn't know it. It's just like wherever this anxiety come from to perform, she feels like she's not able to do that. And like all eyes is on her, or all pressure is on her. And though you try to mix your kids up in the classroom, with different levels, so they don't feel like, oh, I have to live up to this level because this student is performing this way. She just had this anxiety about her that she needed that individual attention. So though we're not afforded a lot of time to give all of our kids in the classroom individual attention, but being able to recognize those moments when they need it.
That's good. And that's what's unique about a program like what you're doing, that you can take time out to address those needs, those real life needs, and that's a great difference. That's a big difference. That's an important difference, because we'll be so quick to say that this student can't learn, or this student is, something's wrong with the student, then just push them away. But you can actually, identify that and take the time to actually deal with that while you're still academically, building that child up the way they need to be built up. So why would I, as a parent, Miss Hudson, it's hard for me to say that because Delecia, but why would I choose your program over public school, over a private school, or another non-traditional school? Why would I choose your program?
I have been one that even before I became a mother, I've always been nurturing to my kids, my students. Even when I had to get on my kids, I've always came at them in a loving way, where they might be upset at me in a moment for giving them consequences, but I always say 2 minutes later, they're going to love me again. And they do. So I've always approached my kids with love and on their level. I didn't talk down to them. I didn't come at them. I talked to them. And I wanted to create a program where it's relaxed. In school and classroom, it's a lot of just go, get this done, assess this and do that. And it's fast paced, but just taking the time and noticing the kids at their level, noticing their needs. I always just wanted to create a program where it's relaxed, it is comfortable, but you have fun learning, and it's creative, and there's different ways of learning things. So where one child may learn one thing with me 1 year, another child may learn that same thing with me another year, and then they meet each other down the line and say, oh, I remember Miss Hudson taught me this, but she showed me this way. So it's just making that impact and connection, and just having a relationship with my kids and their parents. I communicate. I always say I'm probably an over communicator, but my parents that I've worked with in the past have always, been appreciative of me, of having an open door and being communicative about concerns, as well as, raving about their kids and being honest, about it. So I just wanted to have that program where it shows that there are educators out here that really care, that really love kids and are really graceful. And I know it's a gifting of mine, that God blessed me with. And it's just showcasing and being that light for kids, where, coming to school might be kids' safe haven, and that's traditional or non-traditional, because we don't know what their home life is like. So I try to make it like in the classroom, I try to make it as homey as possible. So now that I'm stepping out into a homeschool program, now I'm able to create a comfortable home-like environment, but learning at the same time.
Yeah, so I guess that being said, that's why it's called the Chill Center.
Yes.
So guys, that's where the chill, that's what was my next question, was the Chill Center. I don't want to get off this subject, coach, but I want to go back I think about a year ago or last year, you recently had a student come back looking for you,
Mhm.
and she's now a sophomore in high
Yes,
school.
sophomore. Mhm.
And how they just touch your heart to the impact you made on that child life. After all these years, they come back. How did that make you feel?
I cried. I held myself together in the classroom. It was like a parent meeting night, and I was being teacher and parent, so I was going to check on my kids in their teachers' classrooms, and I came back to my son's oldest son Jeremiah's classroom, and somebody said somebody's looking for Miss Dennis, and I'm like, Miss Dennis? I said, that was when I first started teaching. Like my first 4 or 5 years, I was Miss Dennis before I got married. So I'm like, who is this looking for me? And then as soon as I looked up, I saw her face. I remember her. I remember her name. And just knowing that she came to look for me, they had moved away, I think, after she left kindergarten. I taught her in pre-K. She was one of my first years. And they had moved away after she did kindergarten at Tobacco Road. And then she moved back during middle school, and she said she was just always looking for me, but never had the opportunity to come back to the school I was teaching at. So once she was finally able to come, and she had a cousin or little sibling going there, and she said she was just dedicated into finding me. Wow. And that just shows me the impact that I made. I never want to be the educator that kids, run by their classroom when they see them, or don't want to talk to them or see them. I've always been the educator that kids want to come back to see. I have had kids come back when they first found out I was having my first child, had their mama come up to the school and bring gifts for the baby. And he was in middle school at the time. So it's just that impact in building relationships outside of the classroom.
That's good.
That's awesome. Now, you said you cried when you seen it. Did you cry because you was moved, or you realized that you're getting older?
No, I always say they're getting older, not me. So she still recognized me. So that means I'm not the one getting older.
Just get more wiser. That's it. Just age. But this is great. So, Miss Hudson, what is your maximum intake that you're taking?
My maximum is 6 students at the time, and I'm taking 4 to 6 years old, but I do what I like to call 3 exceptional 3-year-olds. Those 3-year-olds that kind of mature, they're getting ready to be 4, but not quite 4. Because I know a lot of parents, they're not afforded a lot of opportunity for 3-year-olds unless they're going to a Head Start or they're going to daycare. But they're exceptionally smart kids, and not even having to have such high intelligence. They're just ready for something more structured for their kids. Like I said, it starts at home. So I take 4 to 6-year-old, but exceptional 3-year-olds as well, that is ready for a more structured environment.
And also, Ms. Hudson, you're not only doing the homeschool, but you're also providing a program curriculum for parents as well. Yes. Talk a little bit about that.
So yes, I create, I do assessment just like as if I was in a classroom. The kids come in, and for that first week, you're doing rules and routines, and then you bring the assessment just to see what they know. And that's what I'll be doing for those that attend the Chill Center location. I'll do assessment, and then we just work from there. Those parents are guardians that want to homeschool themselves, or have a teacher or somebody that wants to homeschool themselves at their home, and they don't know what type of curriculum to use, because a lot of curriculums out there, even for homeschool, is still so standard based. It's still not focused just around the kid. It's just like what they're supposed to be doing at this level. So what I do with them, excuse me, is create an assessment for them, and do the assessment and create a curriculum for them to take with them. And we do those every 3 months. So at the end of the 3 months, we'll assess, see where they are, and see what they need to review, or if they're ready to go on to the next skill set.
That's good. Now, the Chill Center. I know chill is an acronym. I don't think we explained to the listening audience
That's
what it
right.
means.
That's
What
right.
what what is the chill? What's
It means creating higher impactful levels of learning.
awesome?
All right.
So
That's
it's
good.
not just, teaching a lesson. It's just putting creativity on it, making it fun, making it where the kids want to learn and not just pen to paper or pencil to paper and I got to do this again. Just making it creative and making it fun.
Not like it's
Awesome.
a chore.
Awesome.
Right.
Like we tell people, don't make your workout a chore.
Mhm.
Enjoy it. Make it fun.
Yeah.
To do. And where she get that creativity from? Well, I think
I
she get
think
it
a
from her
mother. Yeah, she
Yes, her
probably got
mom.
it
Her
from her mother.
mom. Yeah.
But listen, let's talk about the registration and enrollment
Yes.
process, Miss
Yes,
Hudson.
registration is going on now. You can contact me through the my Gmail, the Chill Center LLC at gmail.com. And you just send me an email and what you're interested in, or you can do a consultation for a fee and we can talk over some things and you can see which option best fits for your child. But as far as the on-site location, you can register now. We are starting September 9th, and you'll do a registration application. Pay a registration fee is 150, but your consultation, if we do one, goes towards that. And we start at 650 per month. Sometimes it could change depending on what we have to do for that child's particular path. So if there's other accommodations that have to be made or sped services that have to be in place for their path, then the price can kind of fluctuate with that.
That's
Oh, okay.
awesome. That's
Yes.
awesome. So now you mentioned location. So what city or community are you located in?
I'm in Augusta, Georgia, and service really the CSRA. Homeschooler, there's no zoning. There's no particular zone of certain kids that can attend. If you're able to get them here, I'm able to serve them. And I'm located outside a neighborhood outside of Fort Eisenhower Gate 1, a few miles down the road from there.
Okay.
Awesome.
And that's good. And so, what do you think the future of education look like for our kids, for the kids?
I think it's starting now where a lot of people and parents are taking notice of their options, and homeschooling being one of them. Like I said, non-traditional is private, charter, online, virtual, but I think it's starting now because the way of the world is shifting, in the way education is working, and parents are taking notice and advocating for their children. So I feel like homeschool is one of the avenues of non-traditional approaches to education that is really starting to take off even more. And once they see how their kids are able to flourish and advance, even in more so in a smaller setting, they'll begin to take more notice, and that word of mouth will get the spreading. Like whether it's me or another program, we're all working in this together. Just like in the classroom, you have a team that you work with, so we all try to get together in different organizations to try to work together and get these kids flourishing at their level on their own path.
That's
That
good.
is
That's
awesome.
good.
Yeah, that's very
And
awesome.
and I was thinking about coach as Miss Hudson was talking, that collaboration. They have that team, like a committee. I don't know if they have like a committee and a team, and they just kind of can float kids to, wait, hey, Miss Hudson may be a great person for you. Oh, Miss Kelly can be a great, so it can kind of fluctuate, kind of like you said, connect, collaborate, with
Mhm.
each other. And homeschooling is not new to you, Miss Hudson, because you used to teach homeschool
Mhm.
students in during your college term. So
Mhm.
this is not new, and she had great experiences. And I'm saying this because
Tutoring. Yeah.
yes, tutoring,
Yeah.
and because I experienced this with her, so personally. So it was really, really, really great. But before we go, I would like to say, let you go, Miss Hudson. If you guys, invest in a child, if you would like to sponsor a child, if you're financially able, to just, if you can't give some, give part, and say, oh well, I want to go, but You just don't know. You trust God and you believe. So if you want to, you out there, and God really put it on your heart to help a child, to sponsor a child, to be a part of this amazing program. When I tell you it's amazing, not just because she's my daughter, because I have witnessed this firsthand ever since she was young. And I know the passion and I know the love that she has for children and wanting to learn. She's driven by purpose, so that is very important to her. So if you want to sponsor a child, you know how to, like she said, get in touch with her. It's the chill center at gmail.com. Let me repeat that. The
The Chill
chill
Center LLC at gmail.com.
com. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think we have that on the screen right
Yeah.
there. It's
And
scrolling on the screen.
yeah, and we're at the time where we're getting ready to close. So Miss Hudson, go ahead and share, your contact information again, and then some closing comments, and we'll let you go.
Yes. So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram for social handles, the Chill Center LLC, on both. You can also email me, the Chill Center LLC at gmail.com. And like my mom was saying, it's an investment. You want to get the best of things. You want the best cars. You want the best houses. Sometimes you have to, pay and invest in your child. And not saying anything against, public schooling, because I'm a product of it and I taught in it, and it taught me some things of what to do and what not to do. So I'm not downing public school education, but if you want to invest in your kids, sometimes you have to go the extra mile to do that, and
Okay.
not look at it as, this is a lot of money. No, this is a lot of investment for your
Yeah.
child to receive a great education.
Right. Making that sacrifice. Sometimes it's a sacrifice. I kept hearing something. I said, I hear my Jans in the back.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
around.
So tell them I say, hey, give them love, give them a hug. Are they near you? Are they
No.
just
They're
okay? Because I know they'll take over. Especially
Mhm.
Aya. Especially Aya. She will take over. She already thinks she's gonna be the teacher.
So listen, thank you so much for taking
Yes.
time out your busy schedule to be with us today.
Thank you.
And we love you. We're proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing, and we know that God hands is on everything that you put your hands to do, and we know that it shall prosper.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
y'all too. Thanks
Love
for
you
the
too. Thank
invite.
you. Awesome interview. We love you. We'll talk to you later.
All right,
All right.
bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right. So, y'all, that's Miss Hudson, Delecia Hudson of the Chill Center, LLC, non-traditional homeschooling. Listen, we hope you enjoyed that interview throughout the month. This month, we've been talking about different things as it pertains to children going back to school. So you can always go back and look at the podcast to kind of catch up on them. Have some real good conversations with Dr. Dan on backpack safety and how to ensure that the backpack that your child has to wear is a backpack that's not going to cause them any health issues. We talked about bullying.
Yes.
So if you get an opportunity, go back and look at those podcasts, and make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. You got
Yes.
anything to say, Jack, before we get out of here?
No, we don't have anything to say. So
All
I mean,
right.
that was a great interview. Like you said, go
Awesome.
back and look at it. And we have wrapped up the August month. We got September coming up. We got some great things that we're going to be doing. So we're looking forward to this fall, guys. And
Definitely.
also, if you have not purchased your book, still
Mhm.
be coming, you can head over to www.womenonandwellness.com. www.womenonandwellness.com. Or you can go on Amazon and purchase your books, Still Becoming by Jacqueline Dennis. I promise you, you will be blessed. So we got some great things that's in store moving forward. So we're going to be so excited to share this. We're working on some new things, and God is working on some new things. We just being obedience and doing what God is telling us to do. So we
Most
move
definitely.
when He say so and do when He say do. So talk when He say talk. So we're excited about that. And like Coach, with my mind is always, I'm a visionary, I'm a dreamer, so I'm always going. I'm always. And so I said, don't take it up with me, take it up with God, because this is the way He made me. But we're an awesome team because He is He is that person. He carried this thing out and he carried the mission out, and along with our other team, that works with us. So that's all I have, Coach. We can get ready to close it down.
So listen, we just thank you again for listening to Health Matters. We'd like to like our Facebook page at Get Fit with Jackie Fitness and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Health Matters Jackie and Coach.
And guys, remember, we are here to help you to become a better you, to be the best you that you can be. We like to leave you with 3 John 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Guys, you have a blessed and healthy day.
Health is life. Your health matters. You matter. Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time to love you. Live well. Be well.
Yeah, let's go.
Health matters to me.
Come on, get up, cause you tuned into the station for your morning motivation to get your education for your health and your spiritual needs.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, strong will to empower the people, to promote the peace, though. Positive attitudes, behavior, that's a lifelong dream goals.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, health matters and we're here to help you become the better you, to be the best you, the best version you can be.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, and it's time for this classic, fantastic food for your soul. Here's Jackie and Coach Patrick right here. Let's go.
Health matters.